Hey guys, welcome back to our new series on learning how to knit. Today we're going to be learning how to cast off or finish your work.
So when you're finished with your piece of knitting, you're going to need a way to cast off or bind off all these live stitches. So in the most basic bind off technique, you're going to act as if you're knitting. You're going to knit one stitch and pull it over to your right needle. You're going to knit a second stitch. So you have two stitches on your right needle and the rest of them are still on your left needle here. You're going to take your left needle, lift this first stitch up and over the second stitch and then drop it off so that you just have one stitch left on your right needle. You're going to continue in this fashion where you knit one stitch and then pick up the one furthest to the right and bring it up and over the other stitch. This is eliminating one stitch at a time and basically casting off or binding off your knitting. When you get to the very last stitch on your needle, you want to cut your live yarn. Leave enough room for whatever you need to do. Sometimes you need to weave in an end or sew it to another piece of knitting if you're working on a big project. So make sure you leave yourself enough. But you want to cut that yarn, slip your needle out of that stitch, and basically loop the live yarn, well, the end of it, through that last stitch, which will tie it off in a knot. And there you have it. There is a finished piece of knitting. This is the finished basic bind off right here. So you get a nice neat edge. You want to make sure that you work very loosely and don't tighten up too much. With this basic technique, a lot of times when you're first starting to knit, this edge will be very, very tight, and you don't want that. You want to make sure it's nice and loose. And that has been the basic bind off technique. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new today. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another lesson. We'll see you next time.